Imagine living in a society where you can only have one child, but your mom gives birth to 7 septuplets. So your whole life, you and your siblings have shared one life, and each one of you are named the day of the week. That is, until Monday goes missing. Imagine you're with your family, but later on your daughter falls and hurts her arm. So you go to the nearest hospital, and that's when the doctor starts asking all sorts of weird questions. When they tell you only one person can accompany her, you wait downstairs. And after hours of waiting, when you ask about them, they claim to have no idea where your family is. Imagine flying to a country you've never been to before. But while you're in the air, your country went to war and is gone, making your passport and visa invalid, meaning you can't go home or leave the airport without getting arrested. Imagine realizing this airport is your new home. Imagine being framed for a crime you didn't commit, with the person you were having an affair with. So you hire a good lawyer, and when they ask why would you be framed, you say it might be because of a terrible crime you committed years ago with the person you were having an affair with. Imagine being Instagram famous, and life is great until your dog goes missing. But luckily someone finds him, and you meet someone who slowly becomes your best friend. And it feels like fate, but you have no idea that this person is a stalker, and they moved all the way to California just to be your friend. Imagine you live in a rich family, and life is great. Your daughter is exceeding her classes because of her tutor. Your son is making great progress with his therapist, and you have an excellent limo driver and housemaid, and you trust them all with your lives. But imagine if you knew the truth, that these people are actually a poor family that conned their way into your lives. Imagine you're a single father, but you suffer from a terrible memory loss. And when you forget to pick up your daughter from school again, that's when you decide to go to a scientist to help you remember. And her machine works, that's when you start remembering things. But something is keeping you from remembering. Imagine you lose your cell phone. So you scavenge around the house and find an old house phone. But as soon as you connect it, you get strange calls from the same person. When you get to the bottom of it, you realize this isn't a normal person, but someone who lives in the same house as you, 20 years into the past. Imagine you're a gambling addict, which puts you neck deep in a lot of debt. But when someone gives you a second chance, along with many other people, to win it all back, you take it. All you have to do is win a couple kid games. What's wrong with that? But what they don't tell you is that each and every one of you is betting your lives to win it all. Imagine you go to a religious school and you feel like your life is perfect until your boyfriend comes out to you. So you decide to do to him what you believe should be done after you're married. Then later you find out his parents sent him away. And to top things off, you find out you're pregnant with his baby. Imagine losing the love of your life and you become paralyzed. But a scientist tells you he can help you walk again by implanting a chip. But he doesn't tell you the chip is also an AI that talks to you. But to make things better, the AI wants to help you solve who took the love of your life from you by making you unstoppable. Imagine you're on a college trip with your friends, and you see these two creepy guys who you keep running into everywhere you go. And later on, when you and your friends are at a lake, those same guys kidnap one of your friends. So you all plan to rescue her. But you have no idea these two guys saved your friend from drowning and are just taking care of her. Imagine it's your birthday. And honestly, you just want it to end, but it doesn't. Because you're stuck in a time loop you can't escape. And every time you repeat this day, somehow things are slightly different than the last. But when things can't get any worse, you meet someone who repeats the same day with you. Imagine you're successful in your second marriage, but your ex sends you a novel dedicated to you. So you read it with no expectations. And it's the most suspenseful, thrilling, heartbreaking story you've ever read in your life. And you can't stop thinking about it. And it makes you rethink your past marriage with them. Imagine your whole life you've never set foot out of your house, only because your dad has warned you that the outside world is dangerous. But when the owner of an ice cream truck tells you to go with him, you do. Even though there's so many red flags. But he tells you the dark truth on why you've never left your house. Imagine you're a filmmaker and you just moved to LA, and a movie producer agrees to make your film. But because he didn't have his way with you, he steals your movie completely. The only thing you ever wanted is taken from you. But you meet a strange lady who says she can give it all back to you, plus revenge. You say yes and you have no idea what you... Imagine you're a cop in a small village. And ever since a strange man has come to your town, there has been a lot of unnatural cases. So you think nothing of it until something supernatural starts happening to your daughter. So you do all you can to figure out what this is. Imagine ever since you were born, you've had health problems, which has made your mom very overprotective, enough to the point where you've been homeschooled your whole life and you're about to go to college. But you find out something strange about the pills you take, something your mom doesn't want you to know about. Imagine living in a countryside home with your mom and your brother. But when your mom comes back after surgery, she seems different, enough to the point where you start to wonder who or what this person is. And both of you try to figure out if this even is your mom. Imagine during a storm you seek refuge in a motel with 9 other strangers, and one of them is a prisoner who soon escapes and picks you off one by one. But that's not even the strangest thing. The strangest thing is that each and every one of you share the same birthday. Imagine you're on your way home from a night out, but when you least expect it, you get kidnapped and imprisoned for 15 years. And the sad thing is you don't know why you were taken, but this is your life now. But one day, out of nowhere, they release you, and you want revenge. Imagine living in a world where you can only tell the truth, and people spoke their minds because there's no such thing as lying. Until one day you learn how to do something no one knows how to do or can do. And by not telling the truth, you can do whatever you wanted because everyone would believe you. What would you say? Imagine living in a dystopian future, but you live in space with your friends, and y'all are basically space pirates. But one day you get a stowaway on your ship, and you find out she's not human, but something far more dangerous.